Night in Paradise is a Korean foreign film released in the US in 2021. It is about a mobster that is on the run, after being wronged and retaliating against who he thinks did it. Now on an island until arrangements can be made for transport to another safe place. He stays with a woman and her uncle. The plot thickens when the young mobster discovers that she too has her secrets to hide. And depending on which summary you want to read, Netflix or IMDb, you too can find out what that secret she wants to hide is. Night in Paradise, I assume, is an ironical name because there really wasn't a paradise anywhere, and the island which he stayed on was more than one night. He was going to be there for a week, or there for a week. So if I had my choice, I would have cut out at least 40 minutes of the beginning, up to an hour of the beginning, and just summarized or found another way, or narrative, or even some flashbacks explaining things, because the beginning was incredibly unclear and I wasn't sure what was going on that first hour. I had to watch it. I had to watch it again. The first 30 minutes I rewatched because I'm like, well, who was he working for? Who's the mobsters? So are the cops bad? What's going on? Now, I did decide to forgive this to an extent because I think some of this may have been just the Korean culture. For them, this stuff may be common sense. Well, obviously, yes, the cops often work with the mobsters in a weird business way to compromise or whatever with the mobster groups. So that's normal. But from an Americans on the outside, I'm really like, so what now? You are mobsters, or are you a corrupt cop, or what's going on here? It was very vague, very confusing. There were multiple mobsters, and then they would throw out the names of them without connecting them as much. So I found that rather frustrating in the beginning, and I think they could have cleaned that up quite a bit. I saw that we could use to improve our lives on that they did that wasn't good. The main actress, the woman that lives on the island, has some health issues. She has a lot of issues. And I noticed whenever it came time to have to experience some uncomfortable emotions, she chose to drink or try to have sex. So anything to avoid feeling those emotions. Unfortunately, she should sit and feel those emotions. And that's basically what I would take from this one. The movie has a definitely overall gray and bleak feel to it. The main character, the mobster, and the young woman, they both have quite a melancholic, weird interaction together. However, the acting was pretty well done. I did enjoy the acting, and including the dubbing part. I felt like the dubbers did a pretty good job too. That didn't really affect my enjoyment of what I did enjoy of this movie. So, one thing I noticed that they did in this movie, which was, I think this might be a cultural thing, because some cultures highlight if you like food, you're supposed to make more noise and burp and stuff to say, hey, I like it. You know, ASMR, how they make some people feel good about hearing those sounds. I assume maybe they get happy feelings or whatever, I don't know. Often those sounds, including eating sounds, for me actually do the opposite. It's like pain shooting through my body. I don't like it. I'm like, ugh. In this movie, and that obviously depends on how agitated I am. If I'm real overstimulated, over agitated, then it's worse. It's like, it's like nails on a chalkboard for me. So I wasn't in the worst case, and I also was kind of expecting it, so it was easier per se. But yeah, they really highlight their eating, like big time, and they'll talk with food in their mouth and everything. So that was a little bit hard for me to take. I was like, okay, but then I thought, well, could be a cultural thing.
Really good. Actually, mole is my favorite food.
Overall, this movie is slow paced. I was not sure who I was following or what I was following and what was going on. I definitely had that feel to it, the first beginning part. It does come together as we continue in the story. It does become more clear what's going on because it kind of makes the world smaller. And this more or less the relationship between these two people, the mobster and the young woman, and them trying to survive or whatever. But they lack a lot of backstories. They have a little bit of backstory for the young woman. The mobster, they don't really go into his backstory at all, really. So there's not a lot of connection to the character. So when the action really does start going, when it starts getting good finally, I just find myself not caring as much. I don't like the couple. They're not a couple per se, but I don't like them as interacting people. I mean, maybe they're a couple. I'm not sure. Because you know what? It was just, I tried to get through the movie. The last 30 minutes, I felt like I got the point. I had no connection to these guys. I didn't have an interest in continuing the movie. So I'll be honest with you. I didn't finish A Night in Paradise. I went up to 30 minutes left. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to give Night in Paradise, the 2021 film, a 4 out of 10. Nah.
Peace, yeo-been.